injury we need to discuss with you. But before we do that, I want to touch on some video that came out, I believe it was the end of last week. Aiden Hutchinson. He's been seen running, Doc. What does this mean? Tell me he's going to be back for the Super Bowl.
You know, we've always predicted he's going to beat the 6 months, but I don't know about the 4 months. But, you know, we did try to do this the other day. I mean, I think right now the biggest takeaway that we see him running. We do the water running. So why is that? That's for the buoyancy. It's to take the weight off of him. He's non-weight bearing, so we're progressing. As we lower the water, it's putting more weight on him. Right now, the good and bad is, one, look at his form, right? We talked about we had to retrain. We got to retrain those fast twitch muscles. This is a great way to do it with a lot less pressure on the body, on the fracture itself. But you can see grossly how much atrophy he has in the affected leg. And that's what's really concerning. So for our viewers, when we're looking at that, it's like, wow, that leg is like 20% of what we really want it to be. What's cool with young players is watching that muscle come back, the bulk coming back. As he continues to weight bear, as he continues to work on that, it's overnight. Like I said before, if we look at him and measure, I'm sure they're measuring right now, you know, it's centimeters of difference between one leg and the other, the good leg to the fractured leg. But if we start looking what's going to happen over the next 2 weeks, it's going to be amazing how quickly he recovers with that.
How much weight does that take off you running in water, like percentage-wise?
So the rule is your belly button's 50%. Your nipple line is about 75. Your neck line is 90%.
Okay, so pretty much the percentage of the body it's covering.
Right.
Okay.
So if he's 250 pounds, we're taking off that. But it's the pressure. But what the beautiful thing about the water is he's got the treadmill. He's able to work on the mechanics. So you're starting to do muscle memory. You're starting to get the connection between the brain and the leg again. So that's what's so important. We're not just waiting for him to heal and be on a dry land. You know, this is advancements that we've done in the rehabilitation world.
And when somebody's at this specific point of their rehabilitation, how much longer after this does it take for them to get fully healthy? If you catch my drift.
What is it? We're looking at February 9th?
February 9th is the date. Mm-hmm. But seriously, about how far along in a natural progression, like just for your average Joe, not for superhuman Aiden Hutchinson. Like if somebody was coming into your office and you're like, all right, we're to the stage where you're running in 50% water.
You still got a good amount of time.
Not what I want to hear, Doc.
But you said the regular Joe. We're talking about Aiden.
Okay, so
Aiden's getting secret sauce. He's getting a lot of stuff going on to advance that, which he's already ahead of it. I mean, there's no way anybody comes back actively at 6 months. We're pushing it to 4 months with him, right? I mean, if you got a sedentary job, you're a CEO, you know, if you go like one of you guys, you just put, you know, you're here with your leg up.
Right.
You know, with Hutchinson, he's got to be fully active. He's, you know, we used that video, the fast twitch, where you have to have that firing to have that quick takeoff. That's going to be the difference. Can he be up and walking by the time of Super Bowl? Yeah. Can he be a major player getting off the line and getting to the quarterback and putting pressure? That's a whole nother level of recovery. I mean, as far as the great news is that he's there, he's doing it. You see his form is coming back. He's not sloppy with that leg. It's not flopping. He's actually hitting the ground, you know, that heel-toe activity, which is a normal running activity. So he's already there, which is further ahead than anybody would have anticipated. Now, as they'll lower that water, you know, he's going to get more weight bearing, more of a feel. And then it's the recovery after, and I'm rambling right now.
No, it's fine, because while you're talking, it's leading me into more questions that I want to ask you, which is good. So, okay, let's say all things go well. You get Aiden Hutchinson back for the Super Bowl. What percentage of Aiden Hutchinson do you think you're getting?
You know, our rule is 0 pain, 90%. We'll move down to 80% because of a game. Will we move to 60, 70%? No. He's too much at risk at that 60. Okay. He's got to hit an 80%. I feel good. And the other thing is, after he does activities like that, how much swelling happened, how much pain happened, how much residual happened, all that takes effect. So if you're seeing a lot of swelling, or he couldn't walk as well, or aggravated it, you got to dial him back, because Hutchinson, you need to dial back anyhow.
Yeah, I'm just like, if I'm the coaching staff and I'm talking to the doctors and they're like, well, you're going to get 75% of Aiden Hutchinson. 75% Aiden Hutchinson is probably better than 100% of a lot of the guys I have playing right now, so I'd still take it. That's where my question was going with that. I'll take 75% Aiden.
I think it's going to be Aiden's call.
It's
too.
one game, too, and then you get the whole offseason. Does that make a difference?
Well, yeah, you're getting through one game. I mean, we're bandaging him up. We're duct taping him as much as we can. You have supportive gear around him. He'll be wearing special stuff on that leg, like compression garments, braces, all those kind of things. So it's going to be tough to make it here. He's right on schedule for that. Can he beat the 4 months? He's right there. This guy wants it as much as, we can sit there and talk and belabor all the points, but Hutchinson's the one that wants it more than anybody.
Well, and when you say that wanting it more than anybody, just watching the Aaron Rodgers special on Netflix and watching him go through the Achilles rehab and how at every single mark he was just light years ahead of basically anybody that they had ever seen there. Now, an Achilles, that's something that we've seen very few people come back at an effective level. He obviously is playing well this year. When I look at Hutchinson, I think that the majority of the fan base worries the same thing for me. If he does come back, we get him at 75 or 80%. Doesn't necessarily have to play a lot of plays, but if he were to re-injure himself, it doesn't seem to me like he's going to break his leg again, but because of the atrophy and the overcompensation with the rest of his body, he does open himself up to injury somewhere else. Is that true?
You're talking again one game, right? And we're going to look at his mechanics. And like I said, there's side-to-side stuff. He has to pass certain tests to be allowed to make that decision, right? So it's the power, it's the takeoff, it's the strength, comparing the broken side to the not affected side. So he's got to pass all that to get to that choice that I'm going to play, right? So we're not going to chance it. All those things, if we're at the point, can you do it? Those check marks are already done, right?
But is the concern for an injury, if he were to come back, does it exist with the injury that he's coming back from, or do you think that it's somewhere else in the body?
Bones don't break again once they're healed, right? I mean, the same spot.
He's not fully healed.
Okay.
6 months is fully healed, right? It's a softer bone, but it's a good continuous bone. That's what you're looking for. When you talk about the bone strengthens, the bones are very active. We're like I used the analogy before. We're sitting here on our butts right now, but there's activities within the everything that goes on for bone making is it's not static. It's dynamic.
Okay.
Okay. So everything's happening consistently. It's not like, okay, the bone's healed, it's all done. It's continuously healing.
Well, there's another guy, superstar in this league. Hate to see it last night with the way he was trending this year. After mismanagement last year, Jaden Ivey was having the best season of his career, really closing games for the Pistons. He broke his fibula last night in the game, and I saw this tweet by Pistons beat writer Keith Langolis. He says, if you have to break a bone, that's the one to break. Heals the easiest than any. Alex Ovechkin broke his November 25th. Ovechkin may or may not be human, but he's back already. His timeline was 4 to 6 weeks at the time. Not all breaks are the same. All in all, good news. Is this good news for the Pistons as far as the break goes? Obviously, losing any player, no.
If you're going to break something like, showing the video, looking at it, it was a terrible incident. Again, an unfortunate, I keep calling them the vectors, how you're hitting. Yes, if you're going to break something, if you want to pick a bone that's the least important, it's the fibula.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think it was a compound fracture. Nothing came out of the skin. Hopefully it's a clean break. Ovechkin was a different story. That can be, plated and screwed, and then, the strength comes from the plate and the screw also, along with the bone healing. But, I mean, we're looking at it. For him to recover 4 to 6 weeks is probably pushing it. We'll see what's going on. But he'll be in the water. He'll be doing stuff prematurely. He'll get some of that secret sauce too. Yeah, you're looking at a 4 to 6 week time frame with that.
Can you elaborate on the secret
No,
sauce?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah, you
okay.
can't.
Thank you. It's like KFC over here.
That's right. You know what?
Can I get some of the secret sauce? We know a guy.
Well, you gotta get to the elite. No.
I got to go break my leg.
Yeah, we gotta get a reason.
gotta be an elite professional
it's not
and
just
break my leg.
fractures. It's ligaments. It's all parts of you. I say it, and I know everybody's wondering what it's all encompassing. It's having a training staff that's with you 7 days a week, as opposed to a patient of mine gets a therapist for 2 hours a week. It's that mentality too. It's like just showing these guys, this is their business, this is their life. Like I go to work and I'm seeing patients. We all have our different purpose, but a lot of the secret sauce is just the attention that you get at that level. Let alone other things we use.
I know there's differences in sports, but what's the difference in recovery for a fibula in football or basketball? Because Jaden Ivey, obviously an above-the-rim player, does this hurt him down the road in any capacity, or once the bone's healed, we're off and running, doesn't matter, didn't hurt his vertical or anything like that?
It shouldn't. Again,
Okay.
I mean, he's one of those young players with a young injury. Again, I use JMO as the perfect example. You don't take it for granted anymore. You work out harder. You take more prevention. You worry about your foot speed. You worry about your first step, your box jumping, all the plyometric stuff. They take that more serious than just their natural talent. So a lot of times a young injury makes their career longer.
Okay, well, thank you for the update on Jaden Ivey. Why is Ivey 4 to 6 weeks and Hutchinson like 6 months? What?
Because he had a more traumatic event.
Okay.
I mean, we hope it's 4 to 6 weeks, but the fibula, it takes on less pressure. The tibia takes the other bone, the larger one from your knee down to your ankle, takes on a lot more pressure to things.
Well, I appreciate your insight, Doc, because these are a lot of questions that I have, and it's nice to not just hypothesize or go on Google and ask and get 47 answers that I don't know which is real. You can trust Dr. Pierce. You know how I know? Because Darren McCarty trusts Dr. Pierce when he was
TMHC.
playing. So if professional athletes like Darren do, I think the guy knows what he's talking about. So
Yeah, Darren was some of my most challenging patients.
Oh, I bet. How often did
he
you have
would
to
listen
repair
to
his
about-
knuckles from beating the hell out of somebody?
That was the least of it. I mean,
Really?
his hand, yeah.
He never hurt his hand beating the hell out of somebody?
He's sore. He threw it in an ice bath, and he was good 24 hours later.
D-Mac, bro.
D-Mac's
Right, come on,
invincible.
But I mean, he ignores
You know
a
who you're
lot. A
talking
lot
about.
of the players ignore. So you have to make them aware of it. So we look at their mechanics, what they're doing out there.
You mean men ignore their health? No.
No, not in this one. Not the young people are very sensitive to their health now. I will.
I bet.
They're just sensitive to everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, thank you, Dr. Pierce.
We won't
He
touch
joins
that.
Woodward Sports every Tuesday and Thursday, gives us great insights. Thank goodness we don't have any new Lions injuries to talk about.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on Expert Sports Injury Insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.